One. I kind of feel.
What's up? We are back again.
Yeah, I don't
This
feel.
time, hopefully, to stay.
Okay.
We shall see. So, we're going to give it 1 minute and just make sure that we don't get booted off as we talk and everything like that. And then, if it stays on, we good to go, yo.
You're good at.
We's good to go.
You can hear me like clear.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. It's very, very, very nice to not have you be choppy with your words. This is a really pretty picture. I'm over here looking for pictures for the website as we wait for that minute to go up. Okay, the minute is up. What's up, people? I'm laying down relaxed now.
Nice.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. I know it's been freaking crazy, but shout out to the chaos that is feminine energy. And we figured it out. It's all good. And yeah, Tea Time Tuesday every Tuesday at 10 p.m. We're still in the 10 p.m. block situation, Eastern Standard Time. I am Lotus, and I am the founder of PrettyFULL. It is so exciting, and I'm here with my best friend, Bunny, who is also a co-founder of PrettyFULL. PrettyFULL is the self-love mastermind for the melanin millennial, which pretty much means that you come to us to feel really good about yourself. And we give you everything that you need so that you can accomplish that. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So we are talking about finding her, and her as in the Femme Divine for Tea Time Tuesday. If you guys don't know what Tea Time Tuesday is, it's where me and Bunny get on here on Tuesday and we drink tea. Like so. I'm drinking golden tonic tea right now. And we sip tea and we chat with you guys.
I'm having a stress relief tea.
It's like a digital tea party. I'm actually having Yogi's green tea muscle recovery with Numi's. It's a tea company called Numi, and they do turmeric, golden tonic, and I did coconut oil and some brown sugar and cashew milk. So my lips are all moisturized now, thanks to the coconut oil and the tea, which is pretty freaking bomb. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Okay. Oh, she's gorgeous. So, we have some exciting news to talk to you about, and I think we should talk about what we're working on now.
Oh, qué lindo. Estoy vivo.
And then take it from there.
Sorry, Grandma. That's my grandma.
Hey, Grandma. Her grandma's everything, y'all. The cutest thing in the world. I love her. I love Bunny's grandma.
She's showing me her new purse.
She's so freaking cute. Also, shout out to our parents that do not care that we are trying to run a business.
Yeah.
They just continue to talk to us like we're not talking to people digitally.
No.
Which is okay, I guess.
No. She's like, oh, my bad. But you see the purse, right? Yes, I see it. It looks good.
It's like crazy. It's like I'm really like on. Okay, whatever, right? So let's get into it, Bunny.
All right. So we are talking about freeing her. Who's her?
And who is her? Yes, you better tell me who she is. Who is she?
Who we talking about?
We're talking about the feminine divine, shorty.
That's right.
And if you guys don't know about the feminine divine, please go to our Facebook page, which is Love PrettyFULL, which will be changing soon because I am getting the intuition that we need to start our own Facebook group, which I really am a little hesitant about doing because
you groups before. You guys know groups.
You know groups. Groups are popping at first, and then it takes a really long time, and you got to consistently. We're working on it. I'm not into it, but if you guys are into it, then we'll make it happen. But yeah, definitely go to it. It's pinned on our Facebook page for Love PrettyFULL, and it will break down our last Tea Time Tuesday where we talked about what the feminine divine is and how to find her in your everyday life. So it was popping. It was really good. It was really good. Tea Time Tuesday. So this one we are talking about freeing her. So feminine divine is that energy, that intuition. It's kind of like the mother of all energy. You could find her in Mother Nature, and even in mother figures in your life. And Bunny and I are actually both reading this book now, which is awesome, which is Women Who Run with Wolves.
I have the book. on me. Oh, that's
right here.
Oh, I have the back. Nice.
And we are listening. Well, she's actually doing the audio, which I might do. But we're reading the book, and we are learning so mucho about what it is. Bunny, we can see the book.
Love that book.
We're learning so much about what it is to be a wild woman, and reclaiming the word wild for what it means, which is like nature, to be natural, to be sensual, to have that that sureness of who we are as women. So it's really exciting. And we were talking earlier today on the phone, as we do every day, and we were talking about like my experience with running for, this is obviously a podcast, right? We both know that this is a podcast.
Yeah, no, I guess we'll remake it.
Yes, this is a podcast, but whatever. We were talking about my experience running for presidency at my college, which I will not shout out. I don't know why I have such a distaste for that school, but I do.
Y'all,
I just do. I definitely have a distaste for that college. But I was running for student government president, hadn't been done for a couple of years, like over 5 or 6 years. And I was talking to two of my really cool friends, like one who was like a world traveler, like her mom was in the UN. She was like super cool from South Africa, just like so dope, right? And then my other friend who just got accepted into Morehouse, and he was like a really cool, like intellectually, like, super Africana type of guy. And I really enjoyed their presence, and I used to hang out with them a lot. And I remember I had became senator. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. I was like, oh, sounds cool. I'm going to become senator. And it worked out. I was voted in. It was really cool. And then I decided I was going to run for president for the upcoming year. And I told them, and I'm thinking like how with any of my other ideas, whenever I tell my friends, they're like, let's do it. They're never like, I don't know. Kind of sounds crazy. Like, I don't have friends like that. My friends are like, yo, you want to go to the moon? Let's go to the moon. We're going to figure it out. Or if I can't get to the moon with you, I'm going to give you some resources you can read about just to make sure you want to go to the moon. So I have friends like that. So when I went to them, I'm assuming that they're going to be the same way. Remember, assumptions are not where we need to be at in life. And they were just kind of like, honestly, I think you're super, like, cocky, like you're full of yourself, right? Who knew that I would then create a company called PrettyFULL? Because I am pretty full of myself in a good way, okay? And they told me that, and I was like really hurt because I'm like, holy shit, like, what do you mean that? What? Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, you're really cocky, and like you just think you can do anything, and I feel like, you don't know anything about politics, and you're gonna fail. It's not for you. And I was like, what? And it blew my mind. But my then boyfriend at the time, I went and I spoke to him for counsel, because that's what you do when you're in a relationship. And he was just like, if that's what you want to do, you want the presidency, then let's run for presidency. And I was like, okay, that was the answer I was looking for. I don't know what was going on with my other friends. And when I went back to them the next day, they were just like, we'll advise you, we'll help you so you can become more, you get worldly or whatever, so you can be enough to run for president. And I was like, oh, it's cool. I'm already running. I don't need your help. And it was a lesson in, I never thought that I was full of myself or that I was cocky or overly confident. I just was like, if I decide I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and that's just with my mentality. So it was really interesting to see my peers, people of color, my age, millennials, have such a negative reaction, especially people who really knew me up close and personal to me running for something publicly. And I was talking to Bunny about it, and it was just kind of like they wanted me to like change everything about myself so that I could be more appealing to the societal eye of politics in college governments. And I was just kind of like, I'm just going to be me. and they weren't with it. And little did I know, as I'm reflecting on it now, that I was choosing to embrace the feminine divine within me, as opposed to recreating myself so that people would like me, because I generally don't care if you like me or not. I really don't lose sleep over it at all, which is awesome. And we were talking about a song that I love from Jay-Z. Oh my God, it's called FUTW, Fuck Up the World. And I love this song. It's from his Holy Grail album. And I'm obsessed. This song makes me so excited. And one of the lyrics are, they always try to tell you to be humble. Yes, thank you.
No.
And I looked it up too. Always try to tell you to be humble. Like they want to, essentially he was saying they want to dim your shine because they're uncomfortable with it. But that's their problem. You don't stop being you because, you don't stop shining brightly because someone else is like, oh, it's too bright. Like, either they embrace the light,
Yeah.
they stand up there with you where you're not going to know if I'm standing side by side with you and we both shine and we just shining together, or they get some shades and they keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I really, really enjoyed it because simply because I was like, wow, this makes so much sense. And I always had this issue with the word, like when people would say be humble or humility, because when you look it up, and I did look it up just to make sure, the definition of it is having a low estimate of one's own importance or low in dignity of your importance. And I was just kind of like, that's crazy. Like, it's kind of saying like you don't fully trust what you can do. And I didn't really like that. And then I did some more research because, I'm like, people can't possibly be telling each other to be of less importance, right? I mean, you can, but we would hope for something better. And I found on the Urban Dictionary, shout out Urban Dictionary, that it said, like, you accomplish a lot, like you're a badass, but you don't brag about it. And I can respect that definition because I do believe that you should go for everything, and you should definitely believe that you are super important because you definitely are important. And in doing so, you don't need to sit there and say, hey, I did XYZ every single time you've done something. You don't need to shout your accomplishments. Like, your accomplishments, when you're that poppin' and that dope, they will speak for themselves. Yes, they will speak for themselves. They will easily sit there and be like, this is what it is. And you'll have that. So that was pretty cool. And when we were talking about it, we're like, wow, how many women, especially women of color, are told over and over again that we have to like kind of dim ourselves, lower ourselves, or shrink ourselves so that we can be accepted in society, and so that people won't think that we are, sassy or full of ourselves. When in fact, it's like, yeah, I've done a lot. I've been a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've learned a lot. And I have every right to be proud of my accomplishments. And if you take it as bragging, then you take it as bragging. That's on you. I'm just letting you know what I'm capable of doing. But in the same time, it's not all that I talk about.
Yeah.
If we're having Tea Time Tuesday, I'm like, oh, I remember when I got my fourth PhD in, Dubai. And it's like, I'm not, it's not where I'm deliberately giving you that information just so that I can feel better about myself, right? Because that's annoying.
Yeah.
If the information comes up and like, oh wow, well, I actually got my fourth PhD in Dubai. That's so cool. Then we're talking, and that's a lot different. But I'm like literally looking up the lyrics right now. Like, that's how crazy I am.
Meanwhile,
But
I actually went through
yeah.
this about the what the tea says. Well, my tea says something. It says it's from Yogi Tea, stress relief, and it says happiness is an accomplishment.
Avi.
That was cool because it took a minute to get us on here. Happiness itself is an accomplishment.
Okay, wait, I found the lyrics. But before, I'm trying to find it in my tea, my my Yogi tea tag. It's just like, this is such a feminine podcast today. Legit, because I keep saying it's a podcast when it's a Facebook Live. Mark Zuckerberg, don't try to come for me. All right, experience will give you the power and confidence to be you.
All right now.
I know sometimes they're tags. Go ahead, Yogi T, because y'all be doing it with the tags. Y'all be really doing it. So I found the lyrics that I kind of want to talk on a bit, and then we're gonna expand into like why this lyrics mean anything to me or to you. And you guys should really listen to the song. It's a really good song. But he says, try to dim your lights, tell you be humble. Oh, I'm gonna start with this one. Okay, cool. Oh my god, such a good verse. I'm like going back and back and back because it's so good. Oh, I love music, y'all.
You better say it.
All right.
I'm waiting.
I'm just gonna start here. I know I'm like it's just such a good song. Okay. I just want a shot to show my genius. Standing on the top, holding my, my little area because he's being a guy. He's being crazy. But people are like, I'm just showing you what it really is. America tried to emasculate the greats. Murdered Malcolm, give Cassius the shakes. Cassius Clay was a world famous boxer. Wait, tell him, rumble, young man, rumble. Try to dim your lights, tell you be humble. You know I'm gonna shine like a trillion watts. You know a nigga trill as Michael Jackson socks. Take a moment. Take a moment. Take a moment. Just to yes. Take a moment to comprehend what that means. He's saying, I just want to show the world that as a black man, right? And obviously I take it as a black woman because I'm not a black man, but as a black person in society, that like despite the fact that this country and this world continues to try to demise our greatness and to like shrink our genius, I just want to I just want to show you like my genius is worth the same genius and highlight and praise we give Albert Einstein, or Isaac Newton. Like we have that same intellect. It's just in a different way. And he talks about how like, for America, the country that we live in, they're continuously trying to cut our culture down, whether they're appropriating us when it comes to like, adornment and hairstyles and even tanning to get darker complexions so that they can look like us but not really look like us, but then be like, oh my god, girl, I'm so tan. But it's like, I have your tan 24/7, 365 days a year. So like, I don't understand. And they do all these things to like make us feel bad about our culture, and then they take our culture and make it mainstream, and then we're like, what the fuck, like we've been doing this. And I love that. I love that he says it so fucking like thug assness. It's just such an awesome way to express that. Like, people are going to continuously tell you to lower yourself. Do not try to outshine the next person. But you need to shine like a trillion watts. Like, watt on its own is freaking bright. It reminds me of the song from Life Size with Tyra Banks and Lindsay Lohan. Like, shine bright, shine far, be a star. Where you in, where you are, be a star. Yeah. And I love it because she does say in the song about having like a megawatt smile, like just shining. And then he said, you're gonna be trill like Michael Jackson socks. So Michael Jackson wore white socks with black shoes, and if anyone knows the rules of old school fashion, because there's no rules now, but that was like a big no-no. But he made it so freaking cool because of his confidence. And they were glittery, they shined, right? So on top of that, like, you notice them ankles. You notice them ankles on them size 12 feet. And he made it happen. He was moving around making culture in his essence just because he believed in himself enough, and that's kind of what that small part of the song, that small part of that verse means. It's like, yo, just be yourself, and don't be humble in that sense. Like, don't, like, be yourself. Like, literally, if Michael Jackson was what we consider that humble, where it's like he's underestimating himself so that you feel better, we wouldn't have Michael Jackson. True. We wouldn't have all these great people. We wouldn't have people like Rihanna. Damn sure we wouldn't have Beyonce. We wouldn't, like, Beyonce's always made a song about it and everything, about how poppin' she is as a woman, all she's accomplished. And it doesn't make you cocky, and it doesn't make you overly confident. It's just, it's affirming. When you're singing Diva, or when you're singing Feeling Myself, or singing Flawless, or you're even singing I'm Black and I'm Proud by James Brown, like, you're affirming these positive things about yourself. You're literally speaking into existence. And there's such a magic to song and rhythm. and dance. So then you're really expressing to the universe, to that higher energy, like, this is what I am. Like, I am black and proud, or I woke up amazing. That's it. I woke up flawless. I woke up ready to get it. I'm feeling myself. I've accomplished so much. Hello, it looks good on me. You're welcome. And I don't take that as being cocky. And maybe that's just me, but I take that as in, like, freeing the feminine divine. I take that as in, like, I'm going to sit here and take up space, because why the hell not? Do you know what I mean? And I do that in, like, little ways. So I live in New York City, and I don't know if you guys heard of manspreading.
No.
But I am a warrior for manspreading. Manspreading is when guys sit on the train and they, like, open their legs super, super wide as if they're Shaq size. And like, that's for two people, but they're, like, taking up unnecessary space, and for women, I've seen a lot of women, and I do this, I used to do this myself too, and so I was like, F this shit. Like, I'm going to sit down because I want to sit down. There's a seat for me. Which is just really having that affirmation, even in small little ways, like in just traveling to the next train stop or whatever. They would just be like, oh, like, for me to go and ask him, like, to move over or whatever, it's an annoyance, which is true. It is annoying. And you end up just being like, oh, like, what if he says no? Like,
but isn't it annoying?
I wish you would say no. I wish you would tell me I can't sit down because you don't have enough common sense to make space for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I started doing is, when I see that happening, is give it to me when there's two guys sitting there. You're definitely trying to take over. Could you guys move over? Because this is a seat. Thanks. And I sit down, and I don't sit down like this. I sit down like, this is the seat for me. Move over. I'm going to be comfortable. Okay? And it drives them crazy, but I could care less. But for me, that's me freeing my feminine divine. I'm not caging my body or denying myself a pleasure, like resting my body while I'm traveling from place to place, because he's super comfortable over there, And this is not a plight against men. I do the same thing with women in their bags. When they have their bags sitting there, as if it's a person, move your bag, miss. I need to sit down. So that's freeing the feminine divine. These are different things where you're not trying to shrink yourself, right? Shrinking yourself is caging that feminine energy within you that is like, hey, we're fucking awesome. We should be, like, shouting it from the rooftop. One person that Bunny's obsessed with is Shameless Maya.
Oh yeah, I love her.
And she definitely talks about freeing the feminine divine, maybe not with the same verbiage, but yeah, she's talking about being shameless. Like, she's actually created a career off of her embracing that feminine energy, whether she's aware of it or not, but she's decided to be shameless, right? Whoa, what a crazy word that is, to be shameless, to have no shame in your game.
None.
Right? That's super intense. And it's just saying, like, I'm just gonna be me, flaws and all, and they're going to be beautiful, and they're going to be embraced, because why not?
Other people,
they were like, you're going to be yourself? Yeah, I'm just going to be myself.
Yeah.
She shamelessly promoted herself. 5 years later, she's living in her dream home, has her own production company, has found babes. She's extremely happy, excited, is in the best shape of her life, travels the world, does exactly what she's always dreamed of doing, all because she decided to dive into her feminine divine and to shamelessly plug herself, to shamelessly go after the things that really excited her. Like, it's a really beautiful story. And if you guys don't know about her, definitely look her up. She's really awesome. I really do appreciate her for what she's done. And she's just awesome. I think she's a really cool person. And it's just, I don't know, like, what do you have to say on the topic?
About Femme Divine and
freeing her, yes.
Y'all, I've been exploring how to free my own Femme Divine, and it's so much fun. 1, 2, when I was 18, I got a tattoo of this goddess named Lilith. And I have recently looked back into what that really meant. We get tattoos, and I researched her, but I still was like, I'm gonna get her. And I'm looking like, how do I free my femme divine? What is that? How do I free her?
Hmm.
So I look into this book called Goddess Pages.
Oh yeah, we read this when we were younger. Yeah, show them, show them.
18, all right,
We
18
read
years.
that book when we were younger. That was way before 18, bro. You got your tattoo when you were 18, but we read that book when we were like at
Oh,
least
before that.
12. Yeah.
I just look at this book like, wow. And I looked at it, and Lilith is, known to be really evil, actually. But she embraces her wild side, and she does not apologize for being herself, and she doesn't, you know, lessen herself so other people can sit down, like you were saying. And
Oh my God. Okay, so the story of Lilith. Well, like give the short version of it.
the story of Lilith is that she's mythologically in the mythical stories said to be the first woman on Earth, the
The
first
first person,
before Eve and Adam,
she was number one.
and she was with Adam, and they're having sensual sexual relationships, and he wanted her to be on the bottom
All
because
the time.
all the time because he came from her rib. But how is she first if he came from her rib?
No. So the story of Lilith is not that he didn't come from a river. They were both made of the
That's
same,
what he
like they're
said.
made of dust.
In the story, he said, "You come from me." So, the myth that I read said, "You come from me." So you'd be on the bottom. It's just what it is. And she was like, "I don't want to be on the bottom. I could just be equally. We could just be doing the even thing. Sometimes you be on the bottom. Sometimes I be on the bottom." And he was like,
So
"No."
the story that I heard like is not like that because like you said, like that doesn't really make sense because she did come first. God made her first out of the same dust that he created Adam out of. So her thing, Adam was just kind of like naturally like I'm just going to be on top. I'm just going to be that person. I'm going to be the dominant. Just was naturally within him. I just naturally figured like it'll be me. And she was like, well, if we were made from the same dust, what are you talking about? Like, why can't we switch sometimes and I'm on top and then you're on bottom? He was like, no, because I'm the dominant. Like, you just stay on the bottom to please me. Your job is to please and serve me only and not for it to be reciprocal. Then when Eve was born and Eve was made, it was from his rib for that purpose. And God was like, whoa, like Lilith really was causing mad problems in the garden, like really making it difficult, right, for me to have my peace with my human beings that I created. So we're gonna ban you because you're doing way too much in the garden. Go over there, live your life freely, whatever. Now that I create Eve, you're gonna be of Adam, so we don't have to worry about you trying to figure out if you're gonna be more dominant or not, right? So you know that you're of his rib, you're there to support him. It's implied. It's implied. So you're guys not arguing over that because there's other things for you guys to do. My
And
God is always annoyed by humans, but he loves us.
and she never looked back because honestly, some of the people in the garden were like, "No, just turn around, just come back, like just say sorry."
More like the animals because there was only Lilith and
Yeah,
Adam.
the animals, the
Yeah,
animals.
yeah. You said people. I was like, there's
Come
nobody
back,
else there.
come back. Just come back. Like you can relate when you're ready to do something different and you want to level up, and people around you're like, no, just come back, just stay here with us.
Mm.
No, why are you being out there? Stay here. You're ready to move forward. And what I love about Lilith is that she moved forward and she never
Mhm.
looked back. And that's why I got her, because I was going through, at the time I was
Mhm.
going through a really emotionally abusive relationship. So I said to myself, I'm never gonna go through this shit again. And I got a tattoo. I got a tattoo out of it. I made sure it was a symbol, a mark of a grown ass, like superpower goddess woman that would have never allow some shit like that to happen to her again. And so
Mhm.
that's why I got Lilith.
Agreed.
That's what I think about freeing her, being able to own yourself, to know when to speak, stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. And don't be afraid to do it. Like what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen?
There's a lot. There's terrible things that can happen,
I
but
I don't
those
stop.
terrible things can happen and
I
it be
feel like
whatever because you fulfilled yourself.
Yeah, no. The worst that could happen is that you are the good girl, you're the nice girl, you're the quiet one, you're dying inside, and everybody else is happy with you. That's the worst that can happen. So,
Oh yeah, that sucks. That sounds terrible.
stuff like whatever happens, if it's a job thing, you know you could get other jobs. You know, I feel like in my mind, there's no limits to what we can receive or we can create. So if there's something that's completely not in your field, like something that you completely disagree with within your morals, you don't have to stay there. This might be a little
Agreed.
easier for like me, like I'm single, I don't have kids, I don't have to worry about family. But even then, you work. I know some women who would work their way out of that situation with the family. Like fuck that shit. I know my
Yeah.
mom actually, when she had me and we came over here to New York. So a couple people were disagreed with her way of whatever, and she literally moved out. We had moved from place to place, and if she didn't like it, if there's anything that she didn't like, or she didn't like the way they treated me, we moved out like that. She was always ready to get the fuck out. Like she is nobody's. You know, you can't really like play her. You can't really like blackmail her and stuff. That's something I learned from her, and that's definitely freeing. Like I could get the fuck out when I want to get the fuck out. Like who do you think you are? That's
It's
what
the
I
big
think
stuff. Who do you
about the
think you are?
freeing her. And she's also really fun. You can dance
Hmm.
to free her. You can sing to free her.
So we're
And
actually going to go over like 5 things that we talked about, 4 things in a bonus tip on freeing the feminine divine, because we do want to announce some other stuff at the end of this situation, and it's already 11:15 and I have a full day tomorrow. So first one that we talked about, well, we put it in order. So it's singing a song, right? Like having that creative connection, like Bunny was saying, like singing something, dancing to that music, feeling that rhythm, that is a direct connection to your ancestors. And it allows you to show that love and appreciation through creative expression, which to me is one of the purest expressions you can possibly have and give to others. So definitely sing a song, girl. Definitely check out our playlist. We have an iTunes playlist. The link is in our Instagram bio, and we will post it up here too in the conversation at Pretty Full Life, because we did change our name. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. The second one is find a role model. So like for Bunny, she found Lilith, and when we say role model, like someone to kind of like embody for the moment. So she's obviously not going to become the queen of all demons, right? That wasn't her goal when she was looking at Lilith. Her goal was to be able to have that backbone that she needed to get out of an unhealthy relationship, and to remind her to never go back to that space again, right? And that was her role model, to the point where she had it tattooed. For me, I actually have Artemis, who is a badass Greek goddess. Um, because I didn't really learn a lot about African deities until recently, which I'm definitely getting something for Oshun because she's my boo. But I have it on my wrist somewhere, and it's a bow and an arrow. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to like figure out how my camera works. Maybe it's a little dark. Either way, it's a green bow and arrow, and it's actually like ready to be like pulled. And it reminds me that you may have to go backwards in life, but once you go through what you need to go through, you will always fly forward. And Artemis was the queen goddess of the moon, and you guys know I'm obsessed with the moon. And for her wisdom was that she always just knew what was best and what was right, and she always made the best decision. And she lived her life. She was a wild woman. She wasn't like really tied down to anybody. If she was in love with you, she was in love with you. She wasn't keeping moving. She loved to just be in the water, hang out with her girls, have a good time. And she was a warrior. She fought for what was right. And that's what I embraced a lot of my life around, was just her essence of just that divinity that she had as a female, as a goddess. So definitely number 2 is find a role model, find someone that you can embody. Now for me it's Oshun. I'm obsessed with Oshun, and she's just so sensual, so beautiful, and so loving, and just so like yummy. And I really appreciate her simply because she's allowing me to be more of a woman, more full in my relationships, having that compassion aspect, because Artemis is not really known for being compassionate. She's more of a ruthless kind of goddess. Oshun has a wrath about her, as all women do, but she is more about like let's be about the beauty of life, you know, the lovingness. And I love it because I get to channel her with my boyfriend and like be super sensual and loving towards him and remind myself that that's a good thing and not be like cold-hearted, because it can happen when you grow up type A. The third one is take up space. So, as we talked about with man spreading on the train, definitely do not be afraid to take up space in life. Never be afraid, because there's space for you, right? And with the feminine divine, what I love about her is that she's not going to force her way, right? I'm not sitting down like moving these guys over with my shoulder, like, y'all gonna give me space. You know, I simply just let them know, like, there's space for me here. Make it very clear, you know, and it's very, very clear. And you'd be surprised that when you have that type of backbone, that type of self-confidence, and that awareness that you know that there is space for you, when you ask for that space, it's just given to you. But then once that space is given to you, don't sit there and be like this in your space, right? Embrace your space. Definitely make sure that you are filling it up, because it was given to you for a reason. Don't act small, because that shit's not cute. Right? Number 4 is be shameless, or be bold, however, which word you want to put it. But being shameless, maybe we just say be bold, because there might be like copyright issues with Maya. So be bold, right? Definitely be bold. Do what you want to do when you want to do it. The only thing that I would say as a moral compass is like make sure that it's not hurting someone else. Make sure it's coming from love, right? You want to make sure it's coming from inspiration and not from a spitefulness where it's like, oh, I'm just going to be better than you, right? Because when like feminine divinity is not competition. It just does not exist in the feminine divine. It's all about creation. There's a beautiful post that always comes around and always reminds me, like, calm the fuck down, simply because it addresses flowers. And it says, like, you know, the flower does not think about outblooming the one next to it. It just does its own thing. It's not something like, oh my God, the sunflower is like really beating me now. Okay, Rose, do your thing. You need to blossom faster. It's like, whatever. You're doing your thing over there. You look good, girl. Make it work, sunflower. I'm going to do me when it's time to do me. And it does it unapologetically. It's not forcing itself, right? It's just being bold and beautiful. And that to me is also being bold. It's not just being loud, right? And like in your face. That's not just boldness. There's boldness is a full word. It's also just being bold enough to be yourself and to not apologize consistently over things that everyone does. You know how many times like you're getting on the train and like you almost bump someone, like, oh my God, I'm sorry. It's like you didn't even do anything and you're already apologizing.
Sometimes, but you do need to be aware. If you do need to be sorry, be sorry. But, you know, don't get crazy.
Don't sit there and apologize for every little thing, because it's not that serious. So to me, that's what boldness is, being bold. And then our bonus one is be full of yourself. Be pretty full of yourself. And we say that as in, when we talk about PrettyFULL, it's obviously a play on words, because we want you to be full on life, full on love, full on laughter, full on joy. There's tons of things to be full on. But fullness also means that there's going to be duality. There's going to be that negativity, that reflective side, whatever you want to call it. And then also the positive, happy stuff that we're always striving to have 24/7, which is impossible. But, you know, you blend that together and that's a fullness. So be full of yourself. When you're having those moments where you're not feeling your best, being full of yourself is having, you know, maybe a playlist that'll kind of get you back in the mood of like loving yourself, right? Or maybe you have like an affirmation ready to go that's going to bring that goodness that you can feed on to fill yourself up again of goodness. And then obviously when you're feeling bomb, just celebrating it, right? Like just being super excited. Like, don't be excited quietly. It doesn't even make any sense to me. But there are women who are like, I'm not going to share my successes, because in fear that people aren't either going to accept your successes, or that they're going to be, what's the other word? I can't even think of it. Jealous of your successes. So you like hide them to yourself and stuff like, fuck that. I just accomplished this amazing thing. I am excited. I want to share with my friends and family. And if you want to join on the party, join on the party. It's good energy. If not, whatever. Even if you're feeling a little envious or jealous, hopefully it inspires you to take that risk that you want to take and do something similar. Or hell, try to go for the same goal. Who the hell cares? But be full of yourself, because when you have that fullness of yourself, your life then too becomes full.
Nice.
So those are our top 5. Again, sing a song. There's a song by Beyonce that she sings that I'm upset. It doesn't matter. Okay. Number 1, sing a song. 2, find a role model. 3, embrace your space. 4, be bold. And 5, the bonus one, be pretty full of yourself. And that is how you will free the feminine divine. I know it was a crazy long situation. Hope you guys stay tuned. If you guys are catching the replay, hey guys, we're going to get it together next week. We have enough time to figure this shit out. But we did have some information that we wanted to share with you guys. So what I'm thinking that we might do, because it's pretty long, is mañana on our Instagram stories, Bunny and I will share the news. As you guys will find out, we are no longer Pretty Full Love. We are now Pretty Full Life. And that's because we are relaunching our website soon, which will be prettyfull.life. And you guys will be able to check it out soon. It's not up and running yet, but when it is, we got you. And we changed it because we want you guys, as we say that we are the self-love mastermind for the melanin millennial, it's for you to create a lifestyle. And we want you to have a pretty full life. Have a pretty full life. Be pretty full on love. Be pretty full on laughter. Be pretty full on joy and growth and the pain that comes with the growth. Be full of it, because when your cup is full, even when your cup is full and it starts to overrun, you will never be empty, right? And being empty is just such a, I feel like once you're empty, you're allowing anything to come and fill you up. And that's where that depression seeps in. That's where, the anxiety comes into play. That's where you have the 7 deadly sins take up that space, because you're so empty and there's nothing else there. You're just inviting this darkness to kind of claim your vessel. So when you are pretty full on life and you have a pretty full life, you're telling the world, you're telling the universe, you're telling your God, you're telling the higher energy, you're telling your friends and family, like, I'm ready to live this life in its fullness. So that's why we changed the name, because it's badass and it makes both of us smile. And we also are launching a digital magazine. It'll be a monthly magazine. And we'll give that details in the Instagram story. But our first interview is with Bianca Lewis of Mind Your Desire. And she talks about what motherhood has taught her about the feminine divine. It's a really good read. And we have a lot of great stuff going on. And you guys will see that tomorrow for sure in our Instagram story. So make sure that you're doing that. Make sure you're following us again at Pretty Full Life on Instagram. And is there any other announcements that we have?
Stay pretty full.
That's not an announcement, though.
I don't have anything to announce except that this tea was good. Good tea. Good conversation. And I think that's it. I think you said everything. We have a new website. We have...
Ow! I'm so excited. I'm so freaking excited about that shit.
We're providing you with really great information that helped us as we were growing up and getting to know ourselves. Really define where we're getting to in our lives.
When you guys are going to find on our website is over 50 years, half a century of knowledge between Bunny and myself. We've been around, she's 27, I'm 26, but you've been developing yourself since birth, right? Just number one. We've been consciously doing that since we were probably like 8 or 9 years old, like really getting into things like horoscopes and understanding ourselves a little bit more and filling out our feelings and seeing where our shortcomings were. We were doing that with each other. We've been blessed to have a mastermind at a young and early age. And as we've gotten older, we've invited other incredible women like Bianca, like our friends Aneshka, friend Sabrina, Ned, these phenomenal women who are doing the damn thing, and they too are part of our mastermind and just helping us to grow too. So you are going to find such great knowledge. You'll be able to see our courses once they're up. They'll be linked to that website. Our Tea Time Tuesday videos will be on that website. Our articles that we write for you guys will be on our website. The magazine itself, well, you just like super zoomed in, freaked me out.
Yo, I'm ready.
Really badly. Can you not?
Really?
Can you not do that? It really freaks me out. Thanks, bro. I hate that. Really, could you stop? Why am I staring just at your eye?
Okay, so you will know when you know. We have a lot going on, and so just stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Next Tuesday, we're gonna have another Tea Time Tuesday,
and hopefully it's a bit more structured, right? And we'll be talking about how to love the feminine divine. Yes, how to just be loving all up on her. Like, girl, I love you.
Girl, I love you.
I love you.
I love you too.
You know I love you. I'm talking to the feminine divine. So yes, that's everything. Definitely make sure, again, tune into our social media, Instagram. That's where we will primarily be at from now on, is our Instagram account, and we're working on Facebook. I don't know why we don't like Facebook that much. No offense, Facebook, but
we got this Be Live on Facebook.
yeah, we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. All right, that's it. We're signing off. Remember to stay prettyful and to check us out again at PrettyFULL Life. No more. It's no longer PrettyFULL Love. It is PrettyFULL Life. Life, because it's a lifestyle. You're welcome. Mwah.
Ciao.
Deuces.